down the road, you see more and more new BTOs coming up. These people, when they are so acclimatized to living in this area, trust me, they do not want to shift out. Even if they want to upgrade, they will always be looking within these few developments, and you being the newest kid on the block, you do stand out compared to them.
Hi everyone, this is Anne from KYA Real Estate. Today we will be talking about Penrith, the most hype-up project for 2025.
Yes.
So let's get started. So for Penrith itself, how many units are there?
462.
Is it a leasehold or freehold?
So it is 99 years.
Yep.
It's in District 3. Of course, the TOP date as of now is still to be determined.
Yes.
But ideally, we're going to be going through today. In terms of preview date is 3rd October. Right, then booking date would be 18th October. Right, so if let's say you have seen this video, this is as of 9th of September, it may or may not change. But of course, if you want one of the most updated one, you are more than welcome to reach out to us.
So they have a few tiers. So the tier 1 would actually be exclusive to existing owners from Gokulang, Hong Leong, Hong Reality, as well as etc. etc. So if you are one of them, or you want to find out whether you can be part of the priority booking, then sure, you can reach out to us. So for developers wise, do you know who the developers are?
You just mentioned, ma?
Hong Leong.
Hong Leong.
So what about Hong Leong?
I think these are all renowned developers. Yeah.
And for Penrith itself, I feel that the amenities that they have is very, very good within 1 km. So we are looking at malls like Dawson Place, we have IKEA, we have Alexandra Central, Anchor Point, as well as a few hawker centres.
Yeah, you won't run out of food around here.
Yep.
Correct. It makes me wonder, do I even need a kitchen in this area?
Oh, that's true. And it's only 4 minutes walk away from Queenstown MRT station. I feel that is a very, very good point.
And it's 4 minutes walk and it's, I think, partially sheltered. At least for half of the thing is sheltered.
How do you know it's half? Like, where is the half? How do you cut it out?
He has done his research enough already.
Yes.
Correct.
So
I see.
we have actually walked on the ground to actually test with a bit of average leg size.
Yeah.
It takes about 4 minutes to reach door to door.
Okay.
I see.
Of course, in terms of schools in the area, you have quite a number of schools in the area, right? Of course, within 1 kilometer, you're looking at Queenstown Primary School. Then, of course, other than that, would be the Newtown Primary, Gan Eng Sing Primary, and Alexandra Primary School.
So I think for unit mix itself, we don't have 1-bedders as well. So this is something that we are looking at, whereby more and more developers are looking to just build 2-bedders and above.
Right.
Even though we don't have the floor plan right now, but then we do know that for 2-bedders, it's starting from 614 square feet, and from 3-bedders, it is starting from 786 square feet. Whereas for 4-bedders, it's starting from 1,173 square feet. So these are all very good size units that we are looking at.
But these are all subjected to COH final approval. Let's see. Along the way, it may or may not change. We have no idea.
Yep.
So most importantly, the first thing first will be our facing.
Yes, for facing.
Wise, I think from the north of Penrith, we have a very nice unobstructed view. So we can see the bungalows, we can see the GCB, so we can envision ourselves staying in it in the future.
Definitely.
Yeah, so I think overall people will want to stay in this area. There is potentially new GLS land that will be in the facing on the top right hand corner, but that is gross plot ratio of about 2.1. So the max they can go is about 20 plus story. So if you are afraid of potentially new units blocking you, I think going a higher floor can help you secure that potentially. The other side will be facing it's slightly facing the HDBs, potentially facing green space and stuff like that. So it won't really be a view. So if that case, if it's for me, I'll probably go lower floor in those areas, get a nice quantum,
Yep.
and I don't need the view. I mean, the location itself is already sell itself.
Yes. We don't have any information about the facilities, and we don't have information about the unit layout. However, if you are interested to find out more, you can sure reach out to us, and we will let you know the latest update possible. Land location wise, so let's take a look at the average PSF that the other neighbouring developments have done in the past.
Yeah, so if you look at Commonwealth Towers and Queen Peak, these are the ones that is next to Queenstown MRT.
Yes.
So distance-wise, these are the closest. So average PSF, I think we're seeing a range, but average PSF is about 2.2 for Commonwealth Towers. Queen Peak is about also close to 2.2. But something to note that if you're staying that close to the MRT, there's a chance that you can hear the train tracks and stuff like that. So for me, personally, I prefer to stay close enough such that I don't walk too far. 4 minutes walk is a good distance to walk. At the same time, I'll be far away such that I don't really hear the train track. So it's kind of best of both, in my opinion, what I would choose. If you look at Sterling Residence, which is almost like a symmetrical the other way, I think Sterling Residence also about 4 to 6 minutes walks. And then average is about 2.3 per square feet. And something to note is that I have a friend who stay around this area is saying that Sterling Residence actually is an uphill walk to Queenstown MRT, while the Margaret Drive, which is Penrith in itself, is a bit of a downhill or let's say a fat. So you don't really need so much effort. So for those who don't really like walking, don't really like walking uphill, then maybe this is a better alternative. Even though it's both 4 minutes, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
but
You
I
might
get
not
what
need
you
to walk
mean.
uphill. Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. So Gokul actually bided it higher than Sing Holdings by just 50 per square
Yeah,
foot.
it's just a
so
little
very
bit.
good pricing that they managed to get it for. And if you look at an estimate to see what they will probably launch at, right, we use Bloomsbury Residences, which they bought it at close to 1,002 per square feet, and they average about close to 2,005 per square foot. So in this case, if the developers are kind enough, we can potentially see starting at 2005, average about 2007.
You're gonna buy one for yourself, right?
Yeah, potentially.
So you hope that they're kind to
I'm
you.
hoping 2000.
2000.
Yeah.
So of course, when we take a look at the development itself, the next thing we take a look at will be the macro. This is always the most important aspect that we look at, because at the end of the day, we have to find out if there is sufficient demand or is there an undersupply in this area.
Yes.
So maybe we'll allow the specialists to once again talk about this.
Okay, so for new launches, for those who are unaware about the macro, how we look at the macro for resale units, if you look at the supply demand of the specific development and also the surrounding. But for new launch, we don't have any of this, so we use the surrounding developments as a proxy. So what we did is then look at 1 kilometer from Queenstown MRT, we look at the amount of sale listing available, we look at the last transactions available, and we look at it whether there is oversupply or undersupply in the area. So if you see a yes, that means that this development itself or this area itself has an undersupply compared to the region. So in this case, Queenstown MRT is compared with the RCR region. So we can see that if you're going for 3-bedder, if you're going for this development in general, we are seeing undersupply in the RCR region. In fact, you look 165% as compared to the RCR average of 67%. There's a huge undersupply if you look at it.
Yes.
So personally, if I were to go for it, for investment standpoint, 3-bedder is what I would going for.
Because it's double the regional average.
Exactly.
Okay. So next one that we take a look at will be the area analysis. So in terms of future demand, we do see that news has been announced, right? Areas like Kallang, Whampoa, Queenstown BTOs are the most popular. In fact, they are the most popular in terms of $1 million HDB transactions.
Yes.
And we have also done a few lately, right? All crossing $1 million.
Yep.
So I mean, of course, we also know that Queenstown is going through a lot of transformation, and this is going to be the first satellite town to be rejuvenated to support the healthy living and active aging. Then with all these news out there, it just tells you that there will be a lot of money pumped into this area,
Yes.
and you can expect the prices to go to a whole new level.
Yeah, so if this place is good for active aging, right, then you might see parents buying the for their kids,
Correct.
development around this area. And generally, there will be high demand both from the older generation and the newer generation who wants the livability and the centralized location here.
And in fact, in this area, if we sidetrack a little bit, earlier on we also spoke about the fact that why District 3 is in such a high demand.
Yep.
Those that buy here today, right, the next move they're going to go probably a landed in District 3.
Yep.
And do you know that in the entire District 3, there is only 70 landed properties?
Wow.
Correct. So if let's say, all these are forms of asset progression. So if you're going to be buying here today, then I believe down the road, then that will be somewhere you want to go next.
Yep.
So
Right.
definitely, I think all these things make sense, from the HDB $1 million HDB to the high demand in terms of or undersupply in terms of this district, and then to the limited supply in terms of land in this area. You can tell that District 3 is somewhere where I think every Singaporean would love to live in this area.
Yep.
Yep.
And this is something what our specialist really identified. I believe he's going to buy one for himself.
Yes.
we shall see. But in terms of future supply, we do know that there are 2 former schools next to Commonwealth MRT. They're going to make way for new housing. Right? Aside from that, our new Queenstown Park, our housing site, right?
Yep.
Of course, what we just mentioned, the Queenstown rejuvenation to include more senior-friendly amenities.
Yeah, so
Yes.
for those viewers who don't know why we're actually looking at future supply,
Yep.
we do know that the way that property prices increase around the surrounding area is we look at new land bids. When new land bid hit all-time high, that's when surrounding resale areas start to appreciate and try to match up that price. So for Penrith to actually appreciate down the road, we can rely on new land bids where they will bid at a high price, bid at new all-time high, and that's when we can see Penrith start to appreciate also to match that price. So we're looking at a place that has good future supply, but also not oversupply.
Correct.
Yep. So moving on to the price gap analysis, what we do is we're using the nearest 4 developments as comparables to kind of look at what's the fair price of Penrith, right? So looking at Sterling Residence, which I think is the closest comparable, like what we mentioned, we're seeing an average per square foot about 2,374. And if we add in 7% for GFA harmonization, because this Penrith is a post-harmonization project, and we also include extra 40 per square foot per year difference, and there's a 7 years gap, we can see that Penrith is potentially having a fair value of 2,800 if we just compare with Sterling Residences. If you use the same method of calculation for Commonwealth Towers, Queen Peak, Margaret View, we are seeing an average of about 2,658 to 2,820 as a fair price range. So if we can get something below that, potentially we are getting it at a very good price. Even within that range, I think it's a fair price to go in for.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Even though the price have not been mentioned yet, but this is a estimated price that we have right here. So Sean, you did mention that we probably can look at about 2,650-ish. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, most likely 2,650. At least even if we can't get it for the mid floor, we get it for the first floor. I'm hoping for 2,005.
2005.
But of course, if they really do price it like this, it's very attractive, because as what we have mentioned above,
Yes.
once we normalize everything, we are looking at a range of 2,658 all the way to 2,820.
Yep.
So
Yes.
being able to buy a price that only happened in the past, I think
Yeah.
this is very attractive to me, especially
Correct.
when we also take into consideration our exit strategy, which we will cover a little bit more later on.
Yep.
Yep.
Why is this project something that you do not want to miss if you're buying it in terms of investment?
Yep.
Yeah.
So moving on to exit strategy. So these are two things that we can touch on about. So Sterling residence. So in terms of capital appreciation inside, you compare Penrith and Sterling residences. So we mentioned Sterling residences completed in 2022, and it has already shown us its very strong capital appreciation. The annualized gains are ranging from 6.25 all the way to 6.64% for a 3 and 4 bedroom units that you're looking at. So the profit is really quite solid if you ask me. So Penrith completing around 2029, it is well positioned to follow the same growth pattern that we are looking at because of its prime location and its reputable developer, and making it a very favorable market timing when they come in, because down the road you see more and more new BTOs coming up. These people, when they are so acclimatized to living in this area, trust me, they do not want to shift out. Even if they want to upgrade, they will always be looking within these few developments, and you being the newest kid on the block, you do stand out compared to them.
Yep, and talking about that, we do have Sterling Horizon, which is a BTO. It's about more than 1,000 units that's gonna MOP in about 2029 to 2030, which is probably just nice the time whereby
Perfect.
we MOP as well.
Correct. So if you look at that, you don't need all. All you need is say a good 20% of that. That is 200 buyers willing to upgrade.
Yes.
And then we're just talking about Sterling Horizon. We haven't even looked at other areas where, for example, Clementi. Nowadays there's a lot of BTO that, $1 million HDB.
Yep.
They're all shifting closer to the RCR region. In fact, even going towards the town area direction. So where we are located, I would say they would definitely consider.
Yep.
Yeah.
And other than Sterling Horizon, there is actually 17 more BTOs that's around the area. So other than just this project, we really have a huge, HDB upgraders that is looking to upgrade.
Yeah, we have Sky Park at Dawson. We do have Sky Oasis at Dawson, which is also next door. We have quite a lot more other HDB BTOs that are potential HDB upgraders for us.
Yep. So now let's summarize to why you should buy Penrith and why you should not buy Penrith. Let's start with why you should not buy first. So the first point would be limited schools within 1 km. So if you are somebody or if your parents that's looking at, to enroll your kids to like a good school within 1 km, then this might not be the right project for you. A second point would be a potential for overcrowding. This might be a good point or a bad point in a way lah. So a bad point is if you are not into the hustling and bustling of the city life, or it is too convenient everywhere where there's like a lot of people around, then this is not a good project for you as well.
And Queenstown is also a mature estate, right? So similar to what we see, let's say Tampines and all the other mature estate, to Bio, all this.
Yep.
So if you are not interested in living in a mature estate, you want something newer where all the new lands and the new developments are at, then this is definitely not for you.
Yeah.
Yes. And lastly would be the freehold and the leasehold status. Since Penrith is a 99-year leasehold status, then if you're looking at, legacy planning, then if you're only looking at freehold, then this would not be a suitable project for you.
Right.
Moving on to why you should buy this project.
So in terms of why you should buy, same thing, 3 points. The first one will be the strategic location and its excellent connectivity. We all know that, if you value convenience, Penrith is just a short walk to Queenstown MRT, and at the same time, if you want to travel to CBD area, it's just very convenient. Right, next thing will be the safe entry. If the developer priced this correctly, you could potentially be, entering into a project whereby the prices are already transacting over there. So, but you're buying something new. So to me, this is very exciting. And last but not least, the resale market opportunity. In that area, there will be a pool of buyers, these HDB upgraders all coming in. So this sounds to me like a very sound plan. In terms of investment point of view, these are your exit strategy. These people are the ones that are going to be taking over, going to be buying over from you in the future. So of course, if we bring back what we mentioned earlier on, would be, whatever price that you're buying in, if it's within the ability of say 3 million plus minus around there, the next buyer can afford that amount for sure. So that's why whatever that you're going to be selecting, be a 2-bedder or 3-bedder, I think the entry price is very important. And if you are able to get a price very attractive enough, I'm pretty sure you're going to look at a very healthy profit in the future.
Yeah, for sure. And also, this land could probably be the last land that is within a 5 minutes walk from Queenstown. Anything else will be within 10 minutes walk in the future. And if that bids at a higher price, right, you know that people would definitely prefer the within 5 minutes walk as compared to the further ones. So if that bids higher, likely you can see capital appreciation for Penrith.
And one last thing to mention, this is the first GFA harmonized project in this area. Am I correct
Yes,
about that? Yeah, so with that said, we mentioned earlier on that being the first GFA harmonized project in the area has its advantage. And because moving forward, even if there's a next plot, exactly 5 minutes walk to MRT station, it will be the second plot of GFA harmonized, and the advantage is a bit different. The potential is different already.
Yep.
So with that, we have come to the end. If let's say you're looking to, hear from different perspective, from a first-time buyer to a HDB upgrader, to in fact even an investor, you can check out the other video that we have launched earlier on, where we rank the last 5 projects for 2025. Right.
Yes. So we have come to the end of the Penrith analysis, and we'll see you in the next one.
Like our content, subscribe for more.